Hello and welcome from the RRCC Library. In today's video, I'll be going over exactly what plagiarism is, how to avoid it, and how to properly cite your sources. In addition to this video, the library has created a research guide on Citation Help that outlines why citing is important, defining plagiarism, and stuff that you don't need to cite. The majority of this research guide is a centralized location of information sources to help you understand different citation formats and links to various information sources on each format. Let's go find that research guide now. This guide can be found on the RRCC Library Services website. To get to that website from the main RRCC homepage is going to be scrolling down on the bottom here, navigation menu, organized by alphabetical order, and we'll see Library Services right here. So let's click on that. Now the Library Services webpage does have its own navigation menu here, and all of our research guides are under Research Help. And because Citation Help isn't necessarily falling under one specific type of discipline, you're going to be able to find Citation Help in all of these different subjects. You can see it here under Business, under Communication or Computer Information Technology. So let's just go click on Citation Help. So here's what the landing page looks like. As you can see, it is going to be organized by this different formats, but this first page right here is going to be talking about why citing is important, exactly what plagiarism is, and stuff that's considered common knowledge. According to the Webster's Dictionary, to plagiarize means to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own, to use another production without crediting the source, to commit literary theft, or to present as new or original evidence derived from an existing source. In other words, plagiarism is an act of fraud. And this is why citing your sources is so important. If you use someone else's words and you cite them properly, the reader is going to be able to understand that you didn't write those words. That's a quote from someone else, or they can find the original research. Other examples of plagiarism include buying someone else's paper online, passing someone else's paper off as your own, or just copying all or any parts of previous work without proper citation. Things that don't have to be cited are a piece of information called common knowledge, and that's information that's widely known or easily verified. Some examples of common knowledge is the fact that Joe Biden is the current president of the United States, or facts such as water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. This is something that most people in our area would know, so you don't have to cite your sources for that. So let's go take a look at this APA style tab. So APA is a specific formatting style that is mostly used in the majority of behavioral sciences, social sciences, and sometimes within the medical sciences. Do be aware that some disciplines do use different formats, but for this video we are going to be talking about the APA format of citations. Now this landing page here is a really great one area where we have a lot of different information sources pertaining to APA style formatting. So if you wanted to look at these resources here, you could go click on them and see examples. If you wanted to build some of your citations, these would be where you would be able to do that and save all that. And then most importantly, this kind of shows you right here some example formats of what a citation should look like. Now, a citation is something that you're going to be putting at the end of your paper on the reference page. A reference page is usually in alphabetical order of all of your citations of any type of information source that you're using as evidence for your paper. Now this page does provide examples of some of the most commonly used citation formats. So right here you can see we have it kind of breaks it down for the journal articles and books. Those are two pretty commonly used information sources. So it shows you the outline of what it should look like for the citation. So we have the author's last name, first initial, and if there's multiple authors, you'd put all the authors' last names, first initial, the year the article was published, the title of the journal that it's published in, volume number, issue number, and then page range. And if there is a link out to the actual URL of the journal article, you can add that here. When we're talking about physical books, it would be formatted to the author's last name, first initial, the copyright year of the book, the title of the book, and then whoever published it. So these are just two examples of citation formats. If you were looking for formats for other sources, I mean, there's so many different types of sources out there. You have to do a citation if you are citing a podcast, a YouTube video, just a website in general, or maybe an online magazine, online publication. Each type of information format is going to have a completely different citation format. One of my most favorite websites that we definitely recommend using here at the library is going to be Purdue OWL. That can be seen right here. So let's click on that and I can show you how the website's organized a little bit. So if you scroll down to the side, it does show formatting and style guide. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that for APA. When you're looking at reference list right here, we will get to in-text citations here in a second. But at your reference list, these are the general classifications of the different types of formats. So articles and periodicals, that's stuff that you probably won't have to worry about. Books and electronic sources and audiovisual media are probably going to be the ones you're using so very often. So let's go to the reference list for electronic sources and I'll show you how that's organized. So there's many different types of online sources or electronic sources that you can use. This is a basic format for just a web page, any type of website. You can see the example of how you would create the citation, and then there's also an example of what it would look like. Scroll down some more. Wikipedia article, that needs to be formatted in its own way. So this shows you exactly how you would do it, and this is a great example of one. If you are using any articles that are in the library databases or anything on Google Scholar, this is the one you would be using, a scholarly journal article. Now some of them have DOI numbers and some of them don't have DOI numbers. So this kind of just shows you if it does have one, this is where it would go. If it doesn't have one, you'd follow this format and just create the link from there. More ways that you can cite sources is if you're using, a book that was an ebook or an electronic book. We do have an ebook database on our library website, so if you're pulling an electronic book from there, that you could cite it these 3 different ways. An online dictionary, thesaurus, or encyclopedia, that's a really commonly used citation. So here's an example of that right here. So those are some quick examples of different citation formats in the APA style. This website is such a great website to have in your toolkit when you are creating those citations. So I'm going to exit out of that and go back to, well, how are we actually citing within the paper? We talked about the formats, the citations, that's going to be at your reference page. But when you are writing your essay, your paper, when you make a claim or you're quoting someone, you have to cite within your paper as well, and that's something that's called an in-text citation. An in-text citation is something that corresponds to the actual citation that's on your reference list. When using APA format, you would follow the author date method of the in-text citation. This means using the author's last name along with the year of the publication from the source that would appear in the text that you are using as evidence, and that would correspond to the complete reference that would appear in your reference list at the end of your paper. You can see an example of this right here. If you were to make a claim, you're typing in a paragraph into your paper and you're using evidence from one of your references, at the end of that sentence, that's where you'd put your in-text citation right there. If there's multiple authors, it would be looking something like this. So you'd have both authors' last names, comma, the year that was published. Or another way to do it is if you are actually using the author's last name in your sentence that you're writing or in the paragraph, you wouldn't have to put in that last name again. You could just do the parentheses, whatever year that your evidence was published, and parentheses. And additionally, if you were actually pulling a quote from your evidence source, then this would be an example. You could say, according to their last name, you would put in the year of the publication and then that direct quote there. If your piece of evidence does have page numbers, you can additionally add the page number in. And the reason for this is because when your professor or whoever is reading your paper, they want to know where you got your evidence from. That citation, that in-text citation, is going to tell them exactly where to look in your reference list. And if your piece of evidence is multiple pages, it'll tell them if they were able to have that information source in front of them. Oh, this is going to be on page whatever, according to whatever you put in there. If you're using electronic sources, you're not going to be able to use the page number. Most electronic sources don't have page numbers, with the exclusion of scholarly articles. So let's go back to the library website. If you want to get in touch with a librarian, you can call us by phone, which you can, if you go to hours and locations, our phone number is going to be there. Contact us by phone, but additionally you can also contact us by email. The most common way to get in touch with a librarian, especially if you want some one-on-one time, we do something called Book a Librarian. That is a research consultation service. Our consultations can last from 5 minutes to 20 minutes to 40 minutes. It really just depends on the needs of you, the student. So in order to make an appointment, super easy, you would do it here from the website. So I can just scroll down here. This button is good. These buttons are always going to be there on the website. This one right here, Book a Librarian. If you are on the home page of the library website, you could also scroll down, get under Research Help, and click this little icon, and it's going to take you to our appointment scheduler. So this is really on your own time, whatever time is best for you. So let's say you need help on March 3rd. That would be the day you select. You can look at all the available times. Let's say 2:30 works best for you. You'll hit continue. And then you just fill out this basic form. This is going to be your information, first and last name. For email, right here, it's very important that you put in whatever email that you're going to be checking. You do not have to use your student email if you don't want to. This is a way in case we have to contact you in any way, or if you're doing a Zoom virtual meeting, this is how you would get to your Zoom room, is by email. So it's very important that you're putting in any email that you're going to be checking. We also additionally want to know if you're a student, faculty, or staff. Right now, our two ways of meeting is going to be by telephone or by, this says WebEx, but it's by Zoom. We're currently not doing in-person meetings right now, just to make sure that everyone can be social distanced. So if online works best for you, by conference call, we can do that. Or if you just want to talk on the phone, we can absolutely do that. And of course, if you are doing phone, we definitely want your phone number. And we just want some basic information. What class is this for? Your research topic. If you just need help on citations, you would say need help with APA citations. If you just need help with a research project in general, we help with that. So you can type in, my research topic is on why millennials are buying plants more than the previous generations. Just whatever your research topic is. And if you're part of a group, you can always hit yes. That way we can have your whole group invited to the Zoom call. And the most important part here, this isn't something you need to do, but to give the librarian some background knowledge, you can actually upload your syllabus here, your assignment, just to see what we need to help you. We also do have a 24/7 chat, so that's right here on the website as well. It's called Ask a Librarian. One thing to note here is you're always going to be in touch with a librarian using this. It's just not always going to be a Red Rocks librarian. So if it's something very specific to our library or our campus, you might not want to use this, but if you just need some basic research help, citation help, you can absolutely use this. What's really great about this little chat is that if you were to dive into the website a little bit more, go into the databases, that chat bubble is going to follow you onto every web page. So it's very easy to keep in contact. This is something you could also just use, what are your hours on Wednesday? You can ask that question in there. So it's a really great way to get in touch with a librarian. And that is going to be it for today's video. So I really hope you learned something about navigating through our website to help you find any type of citation help.